Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are playing with the Milk palette. It's been a while since it's been launched and I didn't want to pick it up as soon as it launched because it was £40 and I do have all the other Mitchell palettes that he's released from his Made by Mitchell brand. One of those I got in the sale, actually I think two of those I got in the sale including the Mini Mitchell. One of them I paid full price. But I just feel like £40 for a colour story that I'm not 100% in love with because there's a few too many neutrals for me. I wanted to wait until it went in a sale, which I knew that it would. So yeah, not long after the launch, it went down to half price on Mitchell's website. So I picked this palette up for £20. So I'm very, very happy with that. I'm very happy to pay £20 for it, but I just felt like 40 was a little bit much. This is the outer packaging, the sleeve that it comes in. I really, really like the design of this palette and the fact it's like all milk themed. I think that's fantastic. I really like the aesthetic of this. However, because this is the outer packaging instead of having one of the pouches, I'm a little bit gutted, to be honest. I'm one of the people that actually really liked the pouches. I'll show you one moment. So Mitchell's two other big palettes come in these pouches. This is the feet on the ground and this is the head in the clouds. I would have paid more to have the milk palette in a pouch, especially if it was an udder pouch. Can you imagine how amazing that would be? So I'm a little bit gutted there's no pouch, especially I think that's a missed opportunity with the udder, but you know, I absolutely love the look of the outer packaging of this palette. It is gorgeous. And then the inside, I mean, you'll have seen the swatches, I have swatched it already. Absolutely gorgeous swatches, to be honest. I was really impressed. It does come with a little sheet that says on it, do you want some milk? Which I think is a nice touch. It's got a really big mirror, just like the rest of his big palettes. And it says, do you want some milk underneath the mirror? And the shades are gorgeous. However, like I say, I am into colour, not so much neutrals. There are far too many neutrals in this that could have been taken out. Some that are quite similar looking, which is a shame, but we do have some bright colours to play with. Sorry, I'm slowly losing my voice for some reason. I did use the Mitchell blush in Sweet Cheeks for my blush today, and a little bit of pink highlight from the Aspen palette from BH Cosmetics. I'll link these down below. And my lip is the Sleek lip liner in Raspberry. It's a twist up pencil, and then I just put on top some NYX Turn It Up lipstick. I'm not actually sure what shade this is in. It came in a pack and it was super cheap from something like Home Bargains or B&M, and it just says 03 on the bottom. So there's that also. So looking at this palette, trying to work out what I want to do, because there are a lot of options. I definitely knew I wanted to play with the pinks. After swatching them, the shade Licky Licky and In Holleran look absolutely stunning. So I definitely want to dive into one of those, or maybe both of them, who knows. But apart from that, I'm not really sure. I just know that I want some colour. I think I want to start out with the shade called Bluebells, which is this blue here. I'm just going to take that on a JS10 brush and pop it in the outer corner because I feel like a deep blue like this is a very difficult shade to perfect. So this needs to be tested. I mean, I am a little bit sad that there's not a matte black and a very bright matte white in this palette, just because it's sort of cow themed. I would have liked to have seen that, but we do have the pinks for sort of the udderiness. I've yet to blend this out, but putting this down, what a stunning blue. I'm just going to take a clean Spectrum A12 brush and just tickle around the edges of this so it's easier when we come to add the next shade. I am super excited for Mitchell. I do really like his brand as a whole. I like the aesthetic of his brand. The quality is usually spot on with all of his products. I love the blushes and the bronzers. I haven't tried the bronzers yet. I really like if they're the same good quality as the blushes, then I definitely want to pick some up. Then I'm going to take my Peaches and Cream PC37 brush and dip into the lighter shade of the blue, which is Ocean Highs, which is that one there. Now there isn't a middle blue to go between these two, which I would have liked just to make the blend a little bit easier. However, we'll see what we've got with this. And just wrap it around everywhere I put that dark blue. try and make the blend as seamless as I possibly can. I do love blues and pinks together, which is why I started with the blue. I definitely want to incorporate some of those pink shimmers because they look incredible. And when I was swatching the palette, I do see what other people meant when I watch their videos. Some of the shimmers do have a slightly rougher texture, a different formula to his usual ones and some of the others in the palette. I'm not mad about that as long as they look amazing on the eye. I mean, they're swatched amazingly. And again, just going to go back in with that deep blue shade just to work on the blend between these two blues. Okay, blending these out, I have noticed the tiniest bit of patchiness here. Can you just see where the dark blue is sort of slightly missing? So I'm going to have to patch that up a bit, which is a little bit disappointing for a deep blue. I had high hopes, it went on beautifully, but yeah, this sort of blue type of shade is difficult to blend out and get the formula spot on. Yeah, as soon as I blend, the patchiness wants to come straight back. It's not as bad on this eye, but yeah, this eye, for some reason, doesn't want to play ball, so I'm just going to keep packing it back on here. And at this point, I really would have liked to have deepened up the outer corners, but there isn't a black in the palette, which does make me a little bit sad. I'm just going to take a Spectrum A12 brush and dip into a little bit of the shade Angus, which is this deep purple here, in the hope that we can get a little bit of depth from this if I just plop a little bit in the outer corner. I don't want it to muddy up or look silly, but I just feel like we need a little extra something out there. Is that adding depth? It is, isn't it? Good. But as I'm trying to put it down, it's taking off that blue. How irritating. We don't like patchiness. I'm just gonna pack this Angus purple over it in the hope that will fix it. That's definitely deepened up the look, so I'm really happy about that. The patchiness isn't as bad on the... What? Sorry, who invited you? Anyway, moving on. Yeah, the patchiness isn't as bad on this eye as it is on the other eyes. So I'm thinking, is it me that's the problem here? Is it my eyeballs that are the problem? Or let me know, guys, if you've got this palette, have you had any patchiness with that dark blue shade? I'm just trying to pack on this Angus colour here, just to fix this outer corner. That, like, can you see what I mean? Everything's disappearing. The more I try and put on, the more it is taking off. Now, I don't usually do this, but I'm going to take a little bit more of this base. This is not an ideal situation, do not copy me. And I'm just going to put some more base down in the hope I can rectify this corner, because that was too bad to leave, to be honest. That needed something. And let's try and pop some more Angus on top of where we just applied the fresh base. I did ask my patrons which video they'd like to see first, the Milk palette review or my mini Sheen haul and makeup review, and they picked Milk. But I do have some Sheen bits and bobs to try. And obviously we love a bargain. And now it's happened on this side. Are we seeing this? Guys, what is going on? Yeah, this is Patchy the house. I'm going to try and rescue this and then come back. This is as much rescuing as I can do. I wasn't expecting that at all, because Mitchell's formula I usually absolutely love. I never have an issue. But that dark blue shade, it's like it just wants to be packed on and left alone. It doesn't want to be blended or built upon. It's just like, leave me alone. Which is not the best for eyeshadow. Yeah, that was a little bit disappointing. Wow. Let's see if we can pull it back with some shimmers and other shades. Okay, next I want to take Lactose, which is this bright, gorgeous pink here. And I'm just going to take that on a JS13 brush. And I want to pop this near the inner corner because I need to incorporate some pink into this. I absolutely love the look of the pinks in this palette. And I think blue and pink together look beautiful. I do think though some of these bright shades you can already get if you've got Mitchell's palette with Beauty Bay, which I do own. I'm hoping they do bring that back because it's a fantastic palette and the mattes in there are standout quality. Yeah. Like, I try a lot of new eyeshadow palettes. I've tried a lot of formulas. I just own a lot of eyeshadow and very, very rarely does something go patchy on me like that. Like, very rarely. Then I'm going to take another JS12 brush and then I want to dip into the light pink shade, which is called Udder One, which is an amazing name, can I just say. I just want to blend out that pink a little bit. I just don't like eyeshadows that I feel like I have to babysit and that I feel like take a lot of effort and a lot of work, especially for a £40 palette. I know I didn't pay £40, but wow, £40 and that blue was Oh, I love the way that that pink is looking. I'm just going to go off and cut the crease with my P. Louise base and then I'll be back. Okay, so that is my cut crease on and I definitely want to dive into some of these pink shimmers. Yes. I think first I want to dive into Pearl, which is this sort of lavender pastel. It is beautiful looking and I just want to put that near the inner corner. Then of course, you know it, I'm going to go in with Intolerant because it's like a pinky blue. It is, I can't even describe how gorgeous it is. I don't even know if you'll be able to pick up on camera how pink and blue it is. It's very difficult to show on camera, but it is definitely a blue pink. It is stunning. I am going to spray it just a little just so I don't get tons of fallout. And oh, maybe it's worth buying the palette just for this shade. Is that a bit crazy? Wow, I can definitely see on my lid the pinky blue tones. I'm not sure how well you'll be picking it up on camera. You probably will just be seeing the pink, but in person this shade is absolutely stunning. I'm so impressed with that shimmer. That is a standout shimmer. I absolutely love it. Then on a JS13 brush I'm just going to take a little bit more of that Bluebell shade and just pat between the matte and the shimmer, just so it merges together nicely. Then on a Spectrum A16 brush, don't think I'm crazy, I'm going to go into Soured because that is one of the other shades that I absolutely love the look of in this palette and I just need to put it somewhere, so I definitely want to incorporate it. Let's just put a bit on the lower lash line and hope that the intensity is just as bright on the eye as it is in the pan. So far, looking good. I can see it. Oh, you can't really see it as well on camera. Can you see that? It's actually quite pretty in person. But I feel like my light's maybe washing this shade out on my eye, I don't know. Just doesn't seem to be as bright when I look at myself in the camera. Then of course I'm going to go into the shade Milky for my inner highlight, which is that shade there. It looks like a white shimmer with green reflex, which I am down for because anything with green in, yes please. Let's just spray this a little. I'm going to take a little tiny bit of that onto, wow, onto the brow bone. Little tiny bit, famous last words. Peaches and Cream PC37, just to buff around the edges, just to make sure we are as diffused as we can be and everything's looking good. So guys, this is the finished look. I've stuck some lashes on. These are the Jasmine lashes by Doll Beauty, and I popped some Limelight P. Louise Acid Rain paint in my waterline, and I do feel like that's brought out the soured shade. It made it pop a little bit more and stand out. I really like how this looks come together as a whole. I used all the shades that I really had my eye on in the palette. Let's discuss. Colour story, not totally my cup of tea, just because I'm not a neutral lover. I feel like a lot of those browns are redundant. There's a lot that looks the same to me, and that just doesn't float my boat, unfortunately. A lot of people will love that, so that's fantastic. It's all just a matter of preference. The bright shades in this though, I knew I was going to love. I absolutely love the shimmers, especially that pink shimmer in Holorant, which is that one there, with sort of a bluey hue to it. It's absolutely stunning. Really good quality packaging and shadows, apart from that one patchy blue, which is Bluebells. It went on beautifully when I packed it on, but as soon as I wanted to do anything with it, that was it. It didn't want to play ball, it didn't want to be blended, it didn't want to be built on top of. So I'd say watch out for that shade if you've got this palette. Maybe it's just me, maybe it's just my technique, but that doesn't usually happen to me, so I'm a little bit confused about that one. But all the rest of the shades that I used, didn't have a problem with at all. Thought that was absolutely stunning. Really like this palette, especially the design, the whole milk theme, the cows, you know, all of that stuff. Love it. Do I think the palette is worth £40? No, I actually don't. I do love Mitchell. I love his products. I think it is all high quality. Like I say, the aesthetic is fantastic. It's right up my street. It's marketed to people like me. I love his blushes. I like a lot of the stuff I've tried. However, £40, no. Personally, I would rather wait until it goes into a sale so that I can pick things up, because I just think that's a little bit high price point for what you are getting, especially now that we don't have the pouches with it. Yeah, just for me, I think half price, £20, I think I got myself a bargain. I'm not disappointed that I've picked it up, but I will remember in future that that blue shade does not like my eyelids. I'm really glad I've got it in my collection. I will continue to keep buying Mitchell eyeshadow palettes just because I think they're fantastic. But yeah, one dud shade is not going to put me off. To be honest, I can only tell you how I have found my experience with my palette and what I did today. You saw exactly what happened on my eyes. I will link the palette down below and a few of the other bits and bobs that I've used today. And if you could subscribe, guys, if you like this sort of content and you like to watch makeup reviews, eyeshadow palettes, lots and lots of eyeshadow palettes, if you have an obsession with them like I do, why not subscribe, because that's what you'll be getting a lot more of on my channel. And hopefully, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.